Good morning, everybody. As we're letting everybody into the Zoom room, I would love to see you guys drop in the chat something that's amazing in your life that you're grateful for. We always start every Zoom this way. So in the chat, something that's great in your world. This is your real family, your real community. So let's share each other's wins. So take 20 seconds, drop it in the chat. Justin, I'll start with you. While we're letting people in the Zoom room. What's good in your world?
Apparently it's a holiday of some sort. So I was super excited to come into the office today at 8 a.m. and have a full house. Everyone's calling follow-ups and we're following the rules of the no call day, but I'm excited about the commitment of our team. Also, we have 55 homes under contract, which is a very solid start to the month for us. And we have 10 more days to go. So I think we're going to end strong. And the last one is I'm here with you guys. So excited to be here.
It's awesome. David put in here, my son is getting accepted in colleges. Congratulations. Eric put, I'm grateful for the 2 days of rain we are experiencing in Cocoa Beach. We needed this. Congrats. Health, Tim. Philip, our team is off strong start this year. Congrats, Philip. Jody, good morning. I'm grateful for looking at the treetops out of my window. Hell yeah, it's awesome. All right, my friends, I know there is more than 4 of you that have something to be grateful for, but we will kick off content right now. So I'm excited. Today is my week to facilitate Rocket Fuel. And I asked Justin to join us today because he always brings the heat and the value. And he's coaching some of the absolute top team leaders in the country, as well as he coaches hundreds of agents across the country on a weekly basis. And so he's seeing the difference between people who are selling 1 home a month to 5 homes a month. And so he's going to be sharing with you today what some of the top producers are doing to absolutely crush it in today's market. So I'm excited. He always brings the energy. So make sure you're taking some notes because he'll be dropping knowledge bombs. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Justin.
Thank you. Thank you. I am the leader of the Utah Life Real Estate Group. We are one of the most successful mega teams in the United States. But beyond that, I have an extensive background in communication, sales, and performance mastery. And hopefully I will be able to bring to you some perspective today that can immediately shift who you are as a real estate agent and shift your business. And if there was ever a time to do it, it's right now. We're mid-February. We still have 10 and a half months to absolutely make this an amazing year. So hopefully today I can bring you a little bit of a gut and a heart check of some changes you can make today. So the only way that this works is if we're fully engaged for 40 minutes. I have 20 minutes of content, and then we're going to open this up to some Q&A and some interaction. And our whole point of today is to impact your business. The only way it works, cameras on, taking notes, participation. So I want to ask all of us a question right now. In the first 7 weeks of the year, how have you showed up? Scale 1 to 10. If 10 is you're on fire, on point, waking up in the morning, motivated, like, hell yeah, let's go. Money's on point. Mindset is on point. Environment's on point. You know what a 10 feels like. Money's coming in predictably and you're showing up to your business in a powerful way. We all know what a 1 is. My only rule is you can't put 7. You're either an 8 or you're a 6. There's no 7 because 7, there's not enough pain to change. 7's kind of that comfort zone number of I'm doing enough. Do I really need to change? So you're either a 6 or you're an 8. Everyone's changing to a 6, a 6, a 6, 8. Good job. We got Joe at an 8. 6, 6, 6. I feel like there's a little bit of groupthink going on here. 6.2, 9, 1. Thank you for the honesty. Spring and I were challenged with this same exercise a few weeks ago in Scottsdale. And basically the question was, what percentage of your potential are you showing up at currently? Spring said 50%. So that would be a 5. I said 20%. And that would be a 2. I think that if most people looked at our lives and how we show up and our success, they would probably think we're operating an 8, 9, or 10. But this is in relation to what we're capable of, not in relation to what the industry standard is. Now, if I just left you with this today, with no more coaching or no more training, how are you showing up to your phone calls today? How are you showing up to your family today? How are you showing up to your follow-ups today? All of us are capable of showing up at a higher level, having more fun, and making more money in less time. With that being said, I'm going to give you 4 strategies or principles today that if you decide to actually care about these levers in your business, will change your business right now today. But if you show up to these principles at a 2, a 4, a 5, a 7, it's probably not going to impact your business. So I'm going to challenge you to take 1 or 2 of these and run with it today and say, how could I show up to that principle at a 10? Because success is all about momentum. We're either moving in the right direction or the wrong direction. We're either growing or we're dying. There's no such thing as staying the same. I coach a team of 80 plus agents. I coach hundreds of agents across the country and hundreds of team owners across the country. And I'm going to give you today the difference that makes the difference. Why are some agents closing 0 to 1 a month and some agents are closing 5 to 10 a month? These are the biggest levers that I see if an agent pulls will lead to more success in less time. Okay, first principle. We've all heard about motivation. Motivation doesn't last. Motivational speakers, rah bullshit. But I want to just change your perspective a little bit on what motivation is. Motivation is a scientific formula. It is not rah-rah. It's not something that comes and goes. It is something that if you build inside of you and ingrain, you will always possess it. And the beautiful thing about motivation, it only requires 2 things. Number 1 is clarity. Think about how much clarity this world has. What are your goals? I don't know. I want to make $200,000 this year. Show them to me. Show me your goals. Show me what they mean. Show me how you're going to get there. And show me how often you revisit those goals. Because if we're not doing this, we don't have clarity. Think about a sports team. Think about your kids when they play sports. They have complete clarity. Win a championship. We practice on this day. Game days on this day. This is what we practice. We show up on time. It's complete clarity. And then all of a sudden we love our life when we're participating in a sport because they're following the laws of motivation. But as soon as our business is unclear of how we're going to show up, when we're going to show up, what we're trying to accomplish, we're not following the science of motivation. Number 1 is clarity. Number 2 is commitment. How committed are you to the process? How committed are you to showing up? How committed are you to showing up on a Monday morning at 8 a.m. and start your prospecting? So when we go over these principles today, I want you to keep 2 things in mind: clarity and commitment. None of this works without clarity or commitment. Okay. This will be an absolute game changer in your life if you choose to accept the challenge. Everyone, please write separation, windows, separation windows, moments, and seasons. Separation moments, windows, and seasons. Here is a separation window. Our favorite separation window in being a sales professional is from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday morning. The reason this is our favorite separation window is we know, and this is an exaggeration, that no other real estate agents are starting their prospecting exactly at 8 a.m., ready to go, dressed at 8 a.m. Monday morning. Now, there are 52 Mondays in a year. What that means, that translates to 10 working weeks. So our competition is working 10 working weeks less, and we're working 10 working weeks more than our competition just by prospecting Monday morning. The compound effect of that over time for you as a business owner is massive. The next separation window that will absolutely change your life as a sales professional is Friday afternoon. You guys, I drive home the same time every night on Friday. My wife does not have to ask me, what time are you going to be home Friday afternoon? I get home at 6:30 p.m. because I leave the office at 5:30. And here's the beautiful thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, when I drive home at a similar time, it's traffic, rush hour traffic. When you drive home on a 5 p.m. on a Friday, no traffic because everybody went home at noon. 52 Fridays in a year. That's 10 working weeks. How committed are you to a Friday afternoon where you're following up with everybody, prospecting, doing outbound activities that's actually going to build your business? My absolute favorite separation window is Sunday evening. I actually do it Sunday morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And it says on my calendar, win at all costs. Before my children get up, I organize my entire week. I go through my calendar. I prepare for all the classes I'm going to teach. I update all of my systems. This is a CEO window where I'm working on my business, not working in my business. This brings clarity to execution throughout the week. It brings clarity to my revenue driving activities, and it gives me peace of mind to start my Monday correctly. This alone, a 2-hour window on a Sunday evening to working on your business instead of in your business, will change everything about how you see making money. Separation windows. This is the next one, probably the biggest game changer that I've seen in agents doing 5 to 10 transactions a month. They understand a sales process. A sales process is not being great at a listing presentation or a listing consultation or a buyer consultation. That is a piece of a sales process. I would encourage all of us to stop acting like real estate agents and start acting like sales professionals that build a funnel that can close people when they're in their home and they understand the basics of a sales process. And I want to give you a few of those today. I think across the board, and I know this because of how many agents I've trained over the last 15 years, when I ask them, what's most important to a seller? They always say the highest offer, the most amount of money, netting the most amount of money. When you ask a homeowner, what's most important to you in the sale of your home? They will say netting the most amount of money, the highest offer that I could possibly get, and they're both wrong. If you think about what you actually care about in a sales process, it is not about getting the highest offer. It is not netting the most amount of money. It is what I'm going to go into next. Number one, the question that must be answered to actually be in a position to offer somebody the best offer and what they are really trying to understand about who you are as a real estate professional is this. Number one, can I trust you? If you think about anybody that you've ever done business with in the past, what needed to happen before you move forward with that person is, do I trust this person? Do I like this person? Does this person care about me? Now, if we're going into a home presenting marketing, presenting next steps, in no way does that build trust. In a lot of cases, it actually does the opposite. So do you understand a sales process to build trust before you even enter their home? Is the calendar invite going out? Is the text message going out? Is the on-the-run video going out? Is the pre-listing packet going out? Are you showing up on time, fully prepared and engaged so that all of these questions start getting answered before you even enter the door? If you put standard operating procedure on how do I get people to trust me, you will make way more money in less time and you will have way more fun. And I've worked in every sales industry that you can imagine, and I've trained them all. And this is one thing that's lacking in the real estate industry is we present steps, but we don't understand an authentic sales process. You should be closing the client before you walk in the door by building consistent trust and value before you shake their hand. The second question that they are trying to get understood or answered is, do you understand me? Can you prove empathy? Can you reflect their words back to them? In your personalized game plan during the listing consultation, is it cookie cutter or is it unique? How do you make it unique? All of your value propositions should start with this: because you said. Now that I know that this is so important to you, what we're going to do is, because you said you had some challenges with your last real estate agent, what we're going to do is, it's the same value proposition, except you're aligning it with what they actually care about, so they feel like you understand their situation and their needs. Think about you working with a financial advisor. If you didn't trust that person, it's over. If they're presenting to you all their awesome options and their next steps and what they're going to do to you in 30 minutes, and you don't feel like they understand you, if you don't feel like you can trust that person, you're not moving forward. Do you even understand me, and can you prove it? Number 3, can you help me? Can you even sell my house? What's the difference between you and Zillow? My last agent, I just felt like I found the home on realtor.com. We saw the house and then they put an offer. I could have done that. Can you prove to them why you're different than the average agent? Can you prove to them that they hit the lottery when they decide to work with you? So let me tell you how I'm going to find your next home. And by the way, it is my absolute favorite part of real estate, is helping somebody hunt down, find their home, and helping them win that home. So right now, when I leave here today, because I have a full understanding of what's most important to you, I'm going to search every property in the state of Utah, on the market, off the market. I'm also going to leverage my team of 83 agents and figure out what they have coming to the market. And then I'm going to organize those into the absolute best ones. And I'm going to present to you the best homes in the market. You get the fun part. If you see yourself living in any of those homes, we are going to act incredibly fast, and we're going to go see that home the same day. Because as we discussed earlier, in that price range, in that neighborhood, there's going to be a lot of qualified buyers making offers on that exact home. And I really want you to understand what my job is. My job is to show you exactly what it will take to win that home and get your family moving into that home. It's your job to decide if you want to buy that home. There will never be any pressure from me, but I want to fully arm you with exactly what it's going to take for you to win that home, so that if you tell me to move forward, your family will be living in that home. I was very wordy there, you guys, but I wanted to give you some emphasis around, are we really able to articulate to buyers and sellers why we're different, what our job is, how we show up? Do they understand the role we play in helping them buy and sell real estate? Number 1, can I trust you? Number 2, do you understand me? Number 3, can you help me? And number 4, my absolute favorite, are you impressive? Are you impressive in the way you dress? Are you impressive in how to build a rapport? The top 1% of the 1% in every single sales industry does something better than everyone else: rapport and discovery. Great sales professionals that make predictable income know how to build rapport with people that aren't like them, with people that see the world differently than them. They study rapport, they study communication, so that in 30 seconds, something about that client's psychology flips over. I like this person. This person is impressive. Think about all the salespeople that you've worked with. Raise your hand if you've ever worked with an unimpressive salesperson. Raise your hand if you've ever worked with an impressive salesperson. Have you guys ever called customer service and you needed something to get being taken care of with a product or whatever, or a payment? And in 1 second, when that person answered the phone, you realize you're talking to the wrong person. In no way is this person going to be able to help me. They don't speak English. They don't understand my situation. They don't understand why I'm calling. There's been other times when you've called customer service and in 1 second, you're like, oh, good, I'm talking to the right person. And it had nothing to do with what they said. It has everything to do with how they said it. Great salespeople close people during discovery because they prove that they can be trusted. They prove that they understand the situation. And there is no doubt that they're talking to the right person that can help them. In an authentic sales process, I think we're all great real estate agents or we wouldn't be here. But so does that mean, can we help somebody buy a house? Yes. Can we help somebody sell a house? Yes. But can you sell your services? You guys think about every great company on the planet. They have the ability to market. They have the ability to sell. They know their value proposition. They know how to sell next steps. So could you right now get on stage in front of 2,000 of your peers and sell your listing consultation? Sell your buyer consultation. Sell meeting with your lender. Sell a CMA. Because we've all heard this before. What does the consumer buy? Well, they buy us. You guys, that's very amateur. Okay, they buy you. They buy your professionalism. They buy your certainty. They buy your trust. They buy your reputation. They buy your reviews. Yes, of course, you have to have that on point. But what you're actually selling as a sales professional is the next step. So have you put pen to paper on the product that you're selling? And the test is always, can you get in front of your peers right now and sell a product from start to finish where they're like, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I'm looking for. My last agent didn't even offer me that. You guys actually do that. This is the first step. I would encourage us all that this is how all products are sold, but real estate agents don't operate this way. They get by on their charisma, their certainty, their reputation, what's worked for them in the past. If you went through all of your offers and created irresistible offers around all next steps of the real estate process, watch how your communication changes. Watch how value-based your next conversation becomes with all of your clients. Authentic sales process. Next, 100 people in your pipeline. Now, I'm looking at people on my team right now, year to date, that have 11 homes under contract. I have Jordan on my team. He put 5 homes under contract last week. I promise you, what is the difference that makes the difference? Across the board, people that are putting multiple homes under contract every month, getting paid 3 to 7 times a month, they have an authentic pipeline of 100 people. We organize them into prime, active, and watch, or hot, watch, and nurture, whatever CRM you use. Now, you guys have all heard this before. You've been trained on this before. But could you prove an authentic top 100 right now with the right rules, labeled correctly, quality notes, and a cadence of follow-up system to make sure none of those people fall through the cracks? I will use a man on my team, Darian. He's been on our team 2 years. He's closed 70 plus SOI deals. Killer. He started really struggling. He didn't sell a home for a couple months. The first thing I did was not work on his mindset or ask him how he was or go into some prospecting new information or some new scripting. I said, show me your top 100. He had 89 people on there. We went through them one by one and realized that he only had 13. It was all fake. Didn't have quality notes, didn't have motivation or a time frame, wasn't following up with them correctly. So an authentic top 100 that you are committed to improving, committed to organizing, committed to following up, and hear me on this. Oh, by the way, the next month he sold 4 homes. I would rather work with 13 people that are real, where I know their motivation, their timeline, I know how to follow up with them, I know what they're looking for, than work with 89 people that I'm not really working with. So what does a top 100 do for you? If you run it properly and everybody on there is authentic, meaning you can point at everybody and you know their motivation, you know their time frame, they have quality notes, and you know when your next follow-up is going to be. That's how you grade if it's authentic. If you have an authentic top 100, you will close 4 homes a month. If there's anything to go to work on and to be committed to organizing, to filling up your database, to adding value to, is, do you have an authentic sales business? And if a salesperson does not have a top 100, they are going to be running their business on adrenaline. When it comes to your top 100, I would encourage us all to see, how are we following up with value? How are we following up with impact? How are we following up with empathy? I would forever lose, I'm just calling. I'm just checking in. Hey, we spoke about 3 months ago and I wanted to see if anything had changed. All you have to do is have this standard. The reason for my call is. The reason for my call is I came across some new information today and you're the first person I thought of and I had to call you immediately. The reason for my call is the last time we spoke, you said that you were looking for a home in XYZ and you said you were about 6 months out. I realize we're still about 4 months away from that date, but I came across a home and I just knew you had to see it. I'm following up with you as promised. I came across some new information. I know you guys aren't looking to make a move for about 12 months, but there's some significant changes going on in your neighborhood right now, and I had to let you know. Everything that's going around in my organization is, what is the reason that you're calling? What value are you offering? I have people right now, newer agents, that are crushing it with expireds, signing them and selling them. 6 months in the business, and they have been working on a sales process every single day for the last 6 months. And here's the defining factor. They sound exactly the same on the first phone call as every other agent. But what they do way better is the actual follow-up process and how they're going to sell an expired better than the average agent. They can bullet point it out. Here's what's great. They can show you how they can pre-launch a listing before they put it on the MLS. How they're going to create buzz, how they're going to leverage their database of 109,000 leads, how they're going to network with other agents, how they're going to create a social media campaign. And then this is when we put it on the MLS. Massive difference than what every other agent is talking when somebody says, well, how are you different than my last agent? Well, what are you going to do differently? When you know your value and the value of what you do differently, your prospecting becomes easy because you have a reason to call. You have a reason. You're calling with value in yourself and in the process. That is truly being committed to a sales process, is understanding human behavior and understanding how you move people forward to make the best decision for them. The last thing I'm going to go into today, before we make this interactive and hand it back over to Spring, is I don't even know how to put a bigger emphasis on what I'm about to say, but this is your life and this is your money. It is communication with yourself. It is communication with your clients. And it is communication with the world. Communication with your clients. Do you have a cadence of communication set up with all of your current clients that are buying and selling? Are we calling them every Tuesday at noon and reviewing the last 7 days and giving them a preview of the next 7 days? This is certainty. I just purchased a home in Florida. I had no idea what was going on with that home because my ego got in the way because I'm in real estate and I was too afraid to look stupid. You know what I would have liked is if he would have called me every Tuesday and told me exactly what was going on, because every human being wants certainty. And I think we do a pretty good job with our sellers of letting them know what's happening, what's not happening, what we need to change. But are you doing it with your buyers? I have people that are moving buyers forward immediately, putting offers in 3 to 4 days, getting multiple under contracts with buyers where other people are like, I can't get anybody to the finish line. And the biggest difference is how they're communicating with their clients. They do a review of the last 7 days. So we saw these 4 homes. The reason we didn't make offers was X, Y, and Z. Moving forward, there's 3 homes that we have to see immediately. It's getting them in the zone of moving them forward based on how you're communicating with your clients. Communication with your clients. Human beings learn about 2% of what we do from Zooms, from books, from seminars, from mentors, and we learn about 98% of what we do by what we see. So what are your clients seeing? Are they seeing a belief? Are they seeing certainty? Do we know why this is the best time to buy a house in the history of the United States? And do we believe it? Because we don't need to say the words, we just have to believe it. Real estate is undefeated. Have we really went through and put pen to paper of why it's such an amazing time to buy, why it's such an amazing time to sell? And this isn't stuff we tell our clients, it's stuff we tell ourselves so that they can feel the certainty in us. People that want to buy houses want to work with agents that really, truly believe that it's an amazing time to buy a house, not just saying the words. Self-communication, I wish I had 10 hours with you. How are you speaking to yourself? What are you thinking? What is your environment saying to you? Is your internal dialogue in alignment with you being a top producer? And I'm not going to give you the whole class today, but here's how you change your internal dialogue. Are you disciplined enough to become aware of the thoughts that you are having that are going against your goals in your life? And are you disciplined enough to put in a new thought pattern and rehearse it and condition it? Because your internal dialogue is everything about your life, everything about your money, and everything about your business. How do you communicate with the world? And more importantly, how do you communicate with money? The world and money does not speak English. It only speaks emotional state. Where is your emotional home right now? How are you conditioning your emotions? How are you working on your physical body, your power, your energy? Because this is how money and this is how business communicates with a top producer. When you are in alignment with your vibration, your frequency, and your energy, you become momentum-filled and unstoppable. Self-communication, client communication, and money communication. I know it's simple, but I'm going to review. Do you have separation moments in your life where you take a stand and you do things that other agents are not willing to do? Do you have a CEO window in your business where you're reviewing, planning, organizing, considering? And that mission of that CEO hour should be this: what are my revenue making activities and are they a priority? Get rid of everything else that's not in alignment with your revenue. Take care of that after you take care of your revenue producing activities. Do you understand sales and an actual sales process? Because this is what matters about sales. Can I trust you? Do you understand me? Can you help me? And are you impressive? Do we have an authentic top 100? Because if we do as sales professionals in any business, we're closing 4 homes a month, if it's real. Communication is everything. Are we paying attention to how we're communicating to the world, ourselves, and our money? And the very last thing I'll say is this: let's just all start caring more. I went out with my wife on Saturday night because our relationship was a little distant, little bit working too much. In one weekend, I've never been more close to my wife than I am right now because I cared. Do you care about your top 100? Do you care to be a CEO and operate like a CEO? Do you care about an authentic sales process? Because I promise if you care about a few of these things, you will make way more money than you did last year. Thank you so much for letting me sit on my soapbox and give you my insight into sales mastery, communication mastery, and some things you can tweak in your business.
You guys give it up for Justin. I would love for you to take 30 seconds, drop in the chat your number one takeaway. So drop in the chat from this whole 30 minutes that he went about sales mastery, how you can set yourself apart, what your number one takeaway. I love that. Be impressive. That's a big one. Internal dialogue, authentic 100, revisit my sales process. The reason for my call, right? Actually care. Thank you. Follow up with buyers weekly, not just sellers. Definitely. Articulate the next step. How are you better than their last agent? Do you care about your clients? The reason for my call. Recreate follow-up, cadence, better follow-ups, all of that. How are you showing up? Building trust of how we show up. I think a big component of this too, you guys, is one thing that he said And a different way of putting it is money is energy. Your whole life is energy. The money you bring in is energy. Your environment is energy. So what are you putting out there? Like, how are you showing up? And this is a big thing for those of you that are agents, and this is a big thing for you that are running teams, teaching that like vibrational component. We in real estate, we call it commission breath. You know, the agents that are just desperate, they need that transaction and their client can just fill it. How are you showing up and what are you doing? Because you will attract what you're putting out there, right? Okay, so we have about 9 minutes left. I wanted to make this interactive, the rest of it, so Justin can go for hours if we let him. But I was like, how about we go for 30 minutes and then we're going to open this up to a mastermind to our community of anything that's hot topic on your mind that you want to discuss. So drop in the chat if there's anything, any questions you have for Justin, myself, Joe, anybody else who's on this call. That you would like to, for the next 10 minutes, have a mastermind, a strategy, get input from the players that are on this call. So take the time, drop it in the chat. While you guys are doing that, if you guys have found today a value as well, we're hosting a real estate two-day event, which I know there's 1,000 freaking events out there. But it's truly a 2-day conference in Salt Lake City, Real Estate Spring Break. It has a fun name just because my name is Spring, but it is straight up value add content. And Justin is a heavy component of that. Myself, Justin, Ben Kenny, Joe Herrera. We're going to have Ryan Young from Fellow, who is all about listings. Alex Pruitt, I don't know if he's on here today, but he's done 500 listings in the last couple of years. We got Elizabeth McNally. She was the #1 small team at Real Broker last year in Canada, which means that they didn't have Zillow, all of that. She's coming to show how she built her brand, and more. So if you guys want like 2 days straight up Justin's energy and valuable content, get to Salt Lake City. Made the tickets like ridiculously cheap so you could come. It's realestatespringbreak.com. From that, let's see. I'm going to open it up, unmute yourselves, like, or we can just pop off if nobody wants to have a question for Justin or myself or Joe, or that you want to put out to the group. Utilize this time. It can be
Hey,
about
Justin, I got one for you.
Yeah.
How do you, so I've been doing cold plunging and so my son's in Africa and we were on a call with him this morning and I was doing my cold plunge. And there's that gag reflex moment where I was like standing in the water because I'm doing it in my pool because it's cold enough right now. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this, but I have to do it. Like, what are some of those? Because I think people watch you and they're like, Justin just naturally does all these things and he wants to do all these things. And like, but I know that you, just like all of us, fight that. Like, I don't want to do this, but I know I need to do that. So what kind of advice do you give somebody, whether it's hopping on the phone and just making their dials or holding their open house or, asking those tough questions or making that last call before they go home? Like, what is that? What do you do as far as gag reflex of, I don't want to do this, but I know I need to do this, therefore I'm going to do this? What is your process?
The beautiful thing about my life is I don't have a choice. And I think a lot of sales professionals believe they have a choice. But here's the thing. I had scripted role play this morning at 8 a.m. I have to be on point for 90 agents to make sure they have my energy and influence. So if I don't wake up at a certain time and work out, I cannot influence them. That's all leadership is and sales is a transfer of certainty. And I have to have the ability to transfer certainty at 8 a.m. So my morning needs to look a little bit differently, or I'm going to experience pain of rejection. Then at 8:30, I have Winner Circle. Then at 8:48, I have Pinnacle. Then at 9, I'm introducing everybody into our world, like all of our new agents, pumping them up for the next 90 days of their life being on Utah Life. Then at 10 a.m., I'm with you guys. Then at 11 a.m., I have recruiting appointments. Then at noon, I have Justin Time, where I train hundreds of agents across the country. So if I was to show up to my life in an average way, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to experience a lot of pain. A lot of pain of dropping the ball, not being prepared. And because that pain I felt so significantly in my life, I over prepare. So here's the advantage I have over most people is every part of my schedule is filled up. The disadvantage that salespeople have is they don't show up this way to prospecting. If you showed up to prospecting at 8 a.m. like it was a listing appointment, you would be there at 7:45. You would be prepared. You would be in state. You would be dressed. You would be ready to go. You would be warmed up. And then the results that you would get is you would set more appointments by 9 a.m. than you do usually by 5 p.m. because you're showing up differently. But what really wraps my head around this, Joe, is I learned from Andrew Huberman that there's a part of our brain that when we do hard things, it gets bigger, it gets healthier. And what that represents is our willpower and our will to live. Now, when we do easy things, routine things, showing up the way we did yesterday, even if that used to be hard, that part of our brain shrinks, gets diseased, and gets smaller, and we lose our willpower and we lose our will to live. Ice plunge or cold plunge is a good thing. If you start enjoying cold plunge, that part of the brain gets smaller. If you're like, oh my God, this is simple. I love my routine. I feel so refreshed. It's like 3 minutes, then it gets smaller. But if you're like, damn, I hate the cold. I'm not doing it today. I'll do it tomorrow. It's cold outside. I can't wake up at 4 a.m. If you do things at those times, that part of your brain will get lighter, healthier, bigger, and you will have willpower throughout the day. Me being aware of that is now how I'm basing my decision process. Hopefully that was helpful.
I'm gonna actually, Joe, I'm gonna actually put this question to you because you're Mr. Exactly what to say. But for a follow-up that wants to sell at a later time, what would your scripting be?
So I love the question. What I always want to figure out with a home seller is what's more important to them currently. And I love that Justin hit on that. Like, what are their needs? And it's always the two big things for them is price and timeline. So if somebody said to me like, well, we're not ready to sell right now, but we want to, coming up, I may say, well, like, how important is it for you to have this place to make this transition by the 4th of July? And what that would tell me, their answer would tell me that either they have a price in mind they want to hit, or they have a timeline they want to hit. So one of the issues we run into is it's a well-known fact in real estate that you have to take whatever timeline people give you and divide it in half. So if somebody says like, well, we're thinking we're going to sell by the end of the year, if you set a reminder for yourself to call them in October and it's February, they will have sold their house in about August. And so I don't trust their time estimates that they give me. So I would ask a question around their time estimate. Like, well, let me ask you this. How important would it be for you to celebrate the 4th of July in your new backyard? And if somebody's like, well, that would be amazing, that would tell me that they do have a timeline in mind. But if they say like, well, that's not really as important to me as I want to, I've got a number in mind I want to hit. So it's like their answer to that question would tell me more than for me to go like, okay, great. Well, when should I follow up with you? Because if you ask somebody when you should follow up with them, they're always going to give you some outrageously long time frame. And the number one pain that I know your team feels, Spring, I know my team feels, is calling a lead that came in November, who said they're going to buy in July, who now is in contract in February. It happens all the time. And so it's just one of those things where when people get that, did you guys ever see that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where they go like deep into sleep thought and all that stuff? What is it called? Gosh, can't remember. Somebody's going to put it in the chat. Anyways, when you get that idea, when an idea gets planted in your mind, Inception, thank you. When an idea gets planted in your mind, what you're going to tell the public, what I'm willing to tell Justin is, yeah, I'm probably looking to do something, in November, December. But what is actually going to happen is I'm probably going to move in about half that time. So not sure if that helps, but if somebody's like, well, we're not ready now, but we're looking to do something in the future, I wouldn't say, okay, great. When should I follow up with you? I would say like, all right, awesome. I love that. Tell me this. Do you picture yourself in your new place by the 4th of July? Or if, as we get closer to like April, May, I may say like Halloween. Like, do you view yourself handing out candy in your new place by Halloween? And that would give me their answer to that, whether they say yes or no, or some people are so kind that they'll say to you, well, Halloween or not Halloween, I just got to hit my number. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're really talking about what we need to talk about. So not sure if that makes sense, but that's the way I would phrase that question.
Love that, Joe. Can I speak to that just a little bit? Hey, I appreciate all the follow-up. We're still like a year out. Can you give us a call like in 9 months? Wow, that's exciting that you guys are a year out. Tell me, why are you a year out? You take out the best part of it, you align in the affirmative, and then you go into discovery mode of why are they a year out? And then, well, I think we're a year out because da 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 da. Hey, fantastic. So a year from now, what is the home that you're going to be looking to get into? Oh, why is that important to you? Great. Have you thought about what city you would like to be in? Now, what you're doing is you're transferring them from their short-term memory that they're a year out to their long-term memory that they want to upgrade their home, upgrade their life. And now we have something we could add value to. Now we have something we can follow up with because we're having a real conversation about what's motivating them. Okay. Also, I would love to just plant this seed. The first thing that comes out of anybody's mouth is meaningless. So I recruit a lot of real estate agents, and they will say, I want to make 100K and I want one investment property. Across the board, a new agent, that's exactly what they say. And there's no emotion around it. They've just been conditioned to say that 100K in an investment property. But then I dive a little bit deeper. So tell me, what would that 100K mean to you? More importantly, if you were to make 10K a month, what would you actually buy? And then they light up. Wardrobe, vacations, car. You guys, they're saying stuff that is meaningless. If you go a few levels deep, they start lighting up because now we're talking about what's really motivating, what they want in their life, what they care about. And now I'm in a position to offer them value. If I was to take it at face value that they want 100K at an investment property, and then I put my little recruiting hat on and start telling them how they're going to get there, I'm just talking meaningless stuff. I'm just solving problems that don't need to be solved. So always think about, how do I get to motivation? How do I take the best of what they said, fully align, and discover what they care about when we get there? Now I'm in a position to offer value and follow up. Let's see here. Justin, what are the critical components of a coaching session? What is your mindset going in? What are some of the key points you're wanting to make sure to get covered? We don't have that much time here, but let me give you some critical components. And I'm assuming you're talking about coaching another human being, like I'm the one coaching them. Here's a few things that you must get right. They're always presenting their business to you. So when I hire a coach or hire a coach for my business, they are not presenting their business to me. I am presenting my business to them. That is one of the most critical components of a one-on-one, because what that does is they have awareness. They have to be prepared. They know their numbers. They know their business. They have to logically think through what's working, what's not working. So now in 1 minute, I've accomplished more than most coaches do in 30 minutes or 60 minutes because they're fully prepared to have a conversation about their business. So anytime I coach my agents, they flip their laptop around to me and they present their business to me. The second thing you want to get great at is no judgment. If you start asking questions like, well, why didn't you do it? Well, why? What it does is it causes shame. It reverts them back to their 7-year-old self where they feel like they're attacked. Your whole mission is self-discovery and business discovery, where you ask questions like, what could you have done differently? Are you still committed to hitting this goal this month? What do you think you should change? Moving forward, what do you think the plan should be to get you back on track? They come up with the solutions. They come up with the answers. And then the third, there's a lot, but the third is the most critical, is it cannot be a laundry list of things they need to do over the next 7 days. And this goes for your personal business as well. What we do is we like to put Band-Aids on things. Hey, so it looks like you should have 100 conversations and you're going to run 4 open houses, right? And you're going to follow up with all these people. Oh, and you're going to get your database clean. In 7 days from there, absolutely none of that will be done. Choose one thing that you're going to crush, one thing that you're going to be aligned on for the people that you're coaching and for coaching yourself. Thank you so much for this session. Sorry, okay, great. So I think we're good on questions.
Yeah. All right, you guys, was today's session fire? Drop a little emoji or a heart or a thumbs up. Again, every Monday, same time, same place, Monday Rocket Fuel. Invite your network, invite your community, invite your friends. It's open. So we would love to grow this call. And with that being said, we will see you next Monday, same time, same place. And want you guys to have a kick-ass week. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.